But you know who's the real MVP in the story is Rick. For me being like an absolute like weirdo who texted him 24/7. And he wasn't mean to me personally. Like I would be like, girl, you need to calm the F down. Who knew we would be filming a story time this fast, this early into the series? So many of you guys hit me up and you guys tweeted me, snapped me, Insta DM me or whatever, and you guys were like, we need to hear the story about Lola, to a point that I was even like, it wasn't that serious. But I don't think you guys want to hear about Lola. You guys want to hear about this boy situation. You guys love the drama and I'm here for it. I'm here to give you guys a tea. Every time I make these stories, I want to start making this disclaimer that I'm telling these stories as like high school Andrea or wherever Andrea was in this time in life. Not me as a 24-year-old girl. I could literally care less about any of the people I talk about. Low-key, were my feelings hurt sometimes? Yes. Did my heart get broken as a little kid? Sure, but did Andrea know what her heart being broken really was at that age? The story about Lola. This is a story about, what are we gonna call the boy in the situation? I hate that I always went after guys with R's. Like, I can only give them so many names. We're gonna call him Rick. I want to tell you about Lola first. Me and Lola had Spanish class, and I really don't know how me and Lola became friends. A lot of things had to be partnered up, and me and Lola just happened to sit next to each other. Like, we had a seating chart, like our teacher forced us to sit next to each other. And me and Lola became friends. You know, she was a year older than me. She was a sophomore and I was a freshman. And we just talked about things and we got along. And I remember she used to be obsessed with Paramore and Michael Jackson. Like, I literally remember that specifically about her. Is that this is gonna make sense later on in this story because something gets said about Lola's appearance. And genuinely, guys, to me, like, even though there's drama happening in that moment, Lola was pretty. Like, I don't get why she got like this, that I'll get into it later, but I want you guys to, like, genuinely, Lola was a pretty girl. Lola and me just became friends. We talked all the time in class and we would just tell each other about our weekends. She would tell me about hers. We weren't never best friends, we were just really close friends. And as time progressed, we became better friends. I was the biggest MySpace whore. Literally, I loved MySpace because I felt like I never had that many friends in real life. And online, I added like, literally, how did I not get murdered? But I had friends from, like, Michigan and things like that. And just, like, some people were not even really them, but I thought they were really them because later on, if you guys go see my catfish story, shout out to Taylor Parks if she's watching. I got stuck in this whole thing where, like, people online pretended to be this group of friends and it weren't them. They were literally, like, trying to be friends with me, but I didn't live in Michigan. It was so weird. If you guys want to see that story time, should be like an end card or something. I loved MySpace. I would add everyone on MySpace. Like, literally, MySpace was, like, I felt like I was popular on MySpace because I had all these friends and people from all over the world wanted to be friends with me, as in real life they didn't, which was like my life now. You guys want to be friends with me, people in real life don't. Nothing's changed around here. I could genuinely sit here and tell you that I have no idea how Rick got into my life. I'm pretty sure it was through MySpace. Like, I'm 1000% sure. I can't say I was, because this is literally me now. How old am I? 24? Like, I still do this. I'm very shy in person, but I could text you the whole entire, like, Bible, like the whole entire dictionary and EXO open. So yeah, like, I ended up talking to Rick through MySpace, and like, I knew he went to my school. Now, I'm also 1000% sure that I was creepy on this other girl's MySpace page. I don't know, but my sister has a friend who I freaking love to this day. Like, we're so close. Like, okay, that sounds like we're, like, best friends, but, like, genuinely, like, this girl is, like, a freaking angel. Like, if I can tell you one person in life, like, this is so, like, not into context. She's probably watching this. I highly doubt it. I don't know if she watches my story times. She knows I make videos. But, like, we're gonna call her T. Not the same T from the last video, but, guys, this girl is literally, like, the nicest person that I've ever met in my life. Like, she will literally take off the shirt on her back to give it to you. If you want to be like, that shirt's pretty, like, she's that person. Like, she's literally the sweetest. But her and my sister are the same age because she was actually my sister's boss when we first moved. And she's like, our sisters are almost the same age. Like, they need to be friends. So I think we, like, added each other on MySpace, and then we just happened, like, she had PE first and then I had PE, so we saw each other when we were leaving one time. And she's like, hey, Andrea, I'm gonna call her Tamara, right? Tamara became friends, but it was almost like we were forced to be friends, so we weren't really friends. And you know what? Tamara, I'm pretty sure she's a sweet girl now, but she wasn't a mean girl, but she wasn't the nicest at the same time. And then I also did, like, low-key fall in love with her best friend, so it made sense for her not to like me, maybe. But she didn't hate me. At least I don't think she did, because you could tell when somebody hates you, but I think she was just annoyed by me. She didn't like me, you know? But it's not like she hated me. Now, Rick was the first boy in high school that I liked. I liked boys in middle school, but like he was the first boy that I liked that didn't have to deal with middle school. Like he was a year older than me. So like I felt like I never saw him before. You know, like this guy is new. We texted. I literally texted this boy every day, y'all. Like I don't know how he didn't get sick of me, because he would reply every day. And even one day I didn't text him, but like I sent him a chain letter. Like he literally replied to me every day. Like I prayed for him because he was literally the nicest boy ever with how obsessed I was. Like, hi Rick, are you watching? I'm still single if you're trying to, you know, I'm kidding. Literally he's probably married with kids. So now me and Rick literally would text all the time. I honestly have like the biggest crush on him because this is the first boy who's paying attention to me, you know? And like I could genuinely say that I really think Rick liked me. And if not, he was probably afraid of me. I'm not even gonna lie. I liked him and he didn't have to deal with all these other girls that had backstabbed me. Like, you guys know Bethany and Brittany. Like, they had, if you guys didn't watch that, I'll leave an end card and like I'll link it below. But they didn't know about him, where I wasn't really friends with them at that point, and I started becoming better friends with Lola. And Lola introduced me to her friend group, and it was funny because I was literally the only Hispanic kid in like a group full of Asian. Like literally I was the Alicia Maria of the Asian girl squad. Like all her friends were Asian. I love them. This is around where Camp Rock was released. Like we threw a Camp Rock party at her house, at Lola's house. So me and Lola became better friends, and I thought like this is finally somebody I can trust, you know? So I'm gonna tell her about my crush. And I was like, do you by any, because, you know, she was in the same grade as him. And I was like, do you by any chance know a guy named Rick? Wait, Loki? That's his real last name. Bleep out his last name because that was Loki, his real last name. She's like, no, I don't know who that is. And I was like, oh. She's like, why? And I said, because I don't know, I kind of like really like him. And like we text and I don't know, I have a crush on him, but you know, it's just like this little thing. Like she was really rooting for me and she's like, what's his name? Like, can I add him on MySpace? And like she literally added him in front of me. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, that's fine, like it's no big deal. Everybody would add everybody on MySpace. It wasn't that weird thing like you had to know a person. Like genuinely if you added somebody then you did. I genuinely really liked Rick, and like Rick was my crush, and you know Rick would always tell me like come watch my baseball games, and I was like, I'm a photographer. Me in high school thought I was a photographer, but like low-key I took some pretty good pictures of Rick. I'm not even gonna lie, just like pretty good pictures in general. And we would text all the time. Like literally I literally sit here guys, I texted Rick every single day. Every single day. I don't know how Rick didn't get annoyed with me. Like I text, and this wasn't like texting now that it's fine if you text somebody every day, but like genuinely like we're talking like you paid for text messages back in the day. Like there was no iMessages. I had an envy, you know? Like then Lola started to talk to him too, and the thing was I had more of a leverage like I was gonna win towards Rick because I was friends with his best friend. You know, my sister was friends with his best friend's older sister, so I saw Tamara a lot because my sister was always at Tamara's older sister's house. We were almost forced to hang out with each other, but the thing was Tamara had this other friend, and we're gonna call her Natalie. And Natalie didn't like me. Like Natalie from the get-go didn't like me, and Natalie wasn't like you know how I told you that like Tamara wasn't a mean girl. She just was very reserved and probably didn't like me, but Natalie didn't like me. Like you could tell that Natalie didn't like me, and it wasn't even that like, you know, when you don't like somebody because you're jealous of them. Like Natalie had everything. Natalie was one of the prettiest girls. Like honestly, if I tell you guys, I think Natalie was the prettiest girl that I ever saw in high school. And she had all the boys after her. Like it was like there was no reason for her to hate me, but she didn't like me. Whenever I was forced to go to Tamara's house with my sister because she was getting out with her older sister, I would have to sit there and hang out with Tamara. And if Natalie was there, I would tell my sister like, I'd rather just hang out with you guys, hang out with Tamara's older sister and my sister. We're gonna call her Tia. So I would always have to hang out with Tia and my sister. Once, you know, Natalie would leave, then Tamara would come and hang out with us, and it was like funner because Tamara was really nice. But Tamara realized that I started to like her best friend. This is one of the incidents that happened that I think this is where she like found out, was that there was a certain couch at Tamara's house, and Rick had taken a picture on that couch. So when I walked up to that house and I saw the couch, like it was like low-key the Blue's Clues like little chair, if you guys remember. Like it looked like that, but it was like, it wasn't that, like it was a fancy chair. And I looked at my sister and I showed her the picture of Rick in that chair. My sister started laughing. She's like, oh, you should send in one of you sitting on it. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Like I took a picture of the chair and I texted him a picture of the chair. And I like, this is such a crazy like stalker thing to do. And he was like, that's so funny. Hey, you're at Tamara's house? When I tell you guys that I was a MySpace whore, I was a MySpace whore. So I knew how to have like the cool profiles and hide all the comments, but I also knew how to read people's comments that were hidden. And one time I creeped through Rick's comments that were hidden, and Tamara wrote something that wasn't so nice about me. And she did it a couple times, which is fine. It's like, it's not like I held a grudge towards it, but it kind of hurt my feelings because, like, this girl was supposed to be my friend, but, like, she was forced to be my friend. Tamara wrote something like, there was, like, you know how you can have a song on MySpace if you guys are young and don't know, but there was a certain song. I took Rick's song and I put it on my page, which, yeah, it was more of a boy song, but it was like, what was that song called? Wow, I don't even remember it. That's crazy. I used to, like, I could hear it playing in my head, but I can't remember the name. But it was more of like a boy song. It was like about girls, but like, cause he had it, like I wanted it, you know? Like she wrote something like, wow, your little girlfriend stole your song, and he just kind of wrote like LOL, and like she read other things like, oh my god, she's such a weirdo, or like things like that. Like they thought I couldn't see these things, but I could. And like the weird thing was, Rick never wrote anything mean that I saw. I mean, you could private message, could have probably been like, she's crazy. I had this friend, we're gonna give this girl's name Jennifer, and she was my friend that I knew way before this area that I lived in, and she would add anybody on MySpace too. It's like this whole group of people that we knew that would just add anyone, and she started adding all these people, and she added one of Rick's friends' name that literally lived around the corner from me, and that guy hated me for some reason. And I never talked to him, but I specifically remember you couldn't send screenshots, but it took me into her MySpace and read that he wrote like, I don't like her because she like said something about me. And I had never talked about this guy in my life. Like, I did not know him. And I could give him a name, but I'm 1000% sure this guy's name was Eric. But I don't even care about giving him a fake name because, dude, I don't know what I did to you because I have no idea who you are. Like, at all. And then I remember I asked Rick, I was like, who is Eric? And he's like, oh, that's my friend. Like, we own blank, like that, like we run blank, like running where we lived, where I lived, you know? Never seen this guy in my life. Like obviously I saw him when I would walk around the block and see him in his house, and he would see me when he would walk by, you know? But like, I never talked about this guy. I didn't even know he existed. So for him to say that he didn't like me, it wasn't like, ew, she's ugly. It was like he hated me for some reason. And like to this day, I still wonder, like, what did I do to you? So if you're watching Eric, watch that not be his name, but like genuinely, I never understood. So it just makes me go back to think about, like, you know, Tamara and Natalie, like, if there's something they did, because this was all their little crew of friends. It's crazy, because I swear, guys, I was such an unproblematic kid. Like, there was nothing I would have, like, said. I was too scared to, like, get bullied. But sure, that's why I just wanted to add that little side note, because I'm trying to get answers. Rick, you watching this? What did I do to your boy? Because I don't know. So switching back to Lola, she ended up talking to Rick more and more. And it would bug me so much. It bugged me more because, like, she knew I liked him and she still went after him, you know? Like, it just sucked because it's like this never-ending episode that everybody would do this to me, and it's like, what did I do to deserve this? He said this comment about Lola, and he said, like, she's prettier online than she is in person. And, like, guys, Lola told me this, that he, like, said that to somebody, or he wrote that on Facebook or MySpace or whatever, or somebody said this to him. Like, I don't know if it was Eric or somebody said this to her, but those words got back to Lola, and Lola told me this. I genuinely felt like she was prettier than me, you know? Like, so I didn't get it, and he didn't say those things about me, you know? But, like, and it wasn't like, it's like nowadays where people have Facetune, and, like, you could look freaking gorgeous on Instagram compared to real life. Like, genuinely, you couldn't, like, lie. So it was weird that got back to her. I don't know who told her that, but she told me this, and I said, there's no way. And this is the end of freshman year, and we have our yearbooks. And I got a yearbook every single year because my parent was that parent. Like, my mom was that mom. Like, I didn't even come out of the yearbook minus, like, picture day, but my mom bought me a yearbook. So I was, like, so excited for, you know, Rick to sign my yearbook. I remember I had a page, like, specifically saved for, one of my friends. And, like, she wrote on this side, like, this page is reserved for blah, 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 blah. And, like, Rick grabbed my yearbook, and he's like, am I gonna sign this? And I'm like, yeah, like, sign it for me, please. And I was like, will you sign my yearbook? He's like, yeah, like, the bell rang, like, the minute bell. And I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna make him late to class, but he doesn't care. So he's like, looking through the yearbook, and, like, he wrote, like, an R, like, throughout this one little, I could find the yearbooks. They're literally under this bed, like literally under this bed, but ain't nobody got time for it. And like he wrote something cute and simple, but like wrote his like signature around like different areas, and like where he was gonna actually start writing, he's like, oh wait, this part is reserved for someone. I was like, that's fine, it doesn't matter, like just sign. Like I was so nervous. I was like, it's fine, you can do whatever you want to do, but wait, the whole book is yours. You want to keep the yearbook? You didn't buy one? Keep it. You need a lung? Like, I'll give you lung transportation. I was that girl. Like, I was literally like, I'll give you everything you want. Because I no, like, I'll sign over here then. Like, so he did his little doodles by that, and then, like, he went back and he signed something. He's, like, looking at me and he's signing. And I happened to be with Lola in that moment, but when the minute bell rang, Lola was like, and, like, ran off. Like, Lola literally ran off, and Rick was like, that's weird. But it's, like, high school, so, like, it's, like, not that biggest drama for two girls to like the same guy. But, you know, Rick's like, so where's your next class? And I was like, oh, I have math, Mrs. Gomez. It's fine that I say her last name. Her name was Mrs. Gomez. And he said, oh, cool, like, I'll walk you to class. And, guys, like, this was, like, Andrea's, like, literally the best part. Like, this is where high school, like, never got better. Because I had never had a boy, like, walk me to class. So, you know, he held my, like, he literally, like, the fact that I remember this, I really hope Rick is not watching this. Or Tamara, or Tia. Actually, Loki, Tia, if you're watching this, just don't show this to your sister. So, Rick is, like, holding my yearbook for me and walking me to class. And, like, out of nowhere, I turn back and I literally see Lola running through the corner, watching us, and then she runs back to her class. And so Rick walks me to class, and he's like, so this is your class, like room 1G7, whatever. We're standing outside of Mrs. Gomez's class, and he's like, well, I gotta go because I'm late now. And, like, he gives me this hug and, like, hands me my yearbook. And he's like, have a good summer. And, like, it was, like, the cutest thing ever to me because, like, you know, summer was, like, it was the last day of school. And I walk into Miss Gomez's class, and I'm like, this is love. Like, the boy I like walked me to class. That's how innocent Andrea was. Like, literally being walked to class was, like, the epitome of high school for me. Me and Lola started to fall out a little bit. Still friends, but things got kind of fuzzy because I did hang out with Rick. And, like, it wasn't even that I hung out with Rick, but every time I would hang out with Tamara, or because my sister wanted to hang out with Tia, it's like she knew that I could see him. You know, I would see them, but it wasn't because I really wanted to. It's because I was forced to, because I had to hang out with my sister. Me and Lola's friendship just started to die down once again because you're changing in high school. You're making new friends. It just happens. I just felt left out because she was ignoring me because, like, you could say that I won in a sense, but I didn't. Me and Rick never dated. You know, we hung out and he knew that I liked him, but nothing escalated. I don't know if it was my fault. And maybe he honestly just figured out that I was a weirdo, but I'm pretty sure that summer he found the love of his life. No, that summer he dated this girl. He started dating this girl named Core, and Core was literally the definition of, like, the B word. Like, literally, I felt like she was another person who was, like, one of those bullies in high school. She was so mean. One time my sister was in Tamara's room, and she's like, oh, who's that? And she's like, that's my best friend, Rick. And we're gonna go to prom together. And I was like, he's not gonna go to prom with his girlfriend? And Tamara's like, I don't care if he has a girlfriend. We're still gonna go to prom together. Did they go to prom together? I genuinely have no idea because I had to stop being friends with all of them and a whole bunch after that. They said a lot of mean things. You know, I think a lot of it had to do with Natalie. I honestly heard that Natalie and Tamara aren't friends anymore, which is crazy because they were best friends. If not, then I don't know if they are, but that is just what I last heard. And these girls were literally inseparable, but she was so mean, I felt. So, I mean, if they're still friends, it's cool for them. But they were mean to me, and it got to a point that I told my sister, like, I don't want to go to Tia's house. Like, I don't. Like, and I freaking love Tia. Like, I hang with her now, but, like, you know, I told her, like, I don't want to hang out with her. Like, they were mean to me. And, you know, I think I told Tia, or my sister told Tia, like, not recently, but, like, maybe a couple years ago, why I stopped hanging out with them. For like a year ago when I was hanging out with Tia. This was, like, around when Donald Trump got elected for president. We were hanging out at Tia's house. And, like, this is, like, now Tia's an adult. She has her own house, like, family, kids, and things like that. So we were there, and I think, like, somehow she was trying to get me a job somewhere. She's like, oh, yeah, my sister's friend Rick works there. And I said, I don't want to work there. No, thank you. I quit. I had one interest to get a job, and I said, Rick works there. Rick is gonna think I'm a stalker still, and that's the only reason I want the job. As I can't do it. I refuse to go into that restaurant to this day. I know he probably doesn't work there anymore, but, like, genuinely, guys, I was like, I don't want to work there. I think because, like, she saw that I was kind of excited. I was like, yeah, sure, like, I can work there. Like, it was literally like, I'll pick you up, and we can just go, and, like, I'll take you to work for just, like, a couple of hours. And I was like, sure. And then when she told me Rick worked there, I said, I can't do it. And she's like, why? Like, I don't get it. I'm shy about it. My sister just told her. She's like, dude, she really liked Rick as a kid. And, like, your sister and her friends were kind of little to her. And she's like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm gonna yell at Tamara. And, like, she was like, said she was gonna yell at her for everything. But, I mean, I highly doubt she did. It wasn't that serious. But as a little kid, it affects you. Especially when it's, like, the first guy that you like. I feel like I didn't like a million other guys. But I'm gonna throw in a little other story here about Rick. Awkward. Literally everybody knows his name, that's why it's awkward. So, like, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Rick played baseball, and I love that about him. Like, it's just, like, the first one who wasn't mean to me that I went to high school. Like, he was genuinely nice to me. So, one day he's like, you should come to my game on Friday, and I was like, you think? Like, you sure? And he's like, yeah, come to my game on Friday. And I was like, okay, I'll bring my camera and I'll take some pictures of you because, you know, I thought I was a photographer. I think I mentioned this. I went to his game and, you know, sadly, Lola was like, can I go with you? So Lola came to my house and then we both went to the game. I have the camera, I'm gonna go up to the little fence thing. And I was taking all these cool pictures there, part where you could see the fence, so it was all artistic. And I took all these cute pictures and he would look at me when he would throw a pitch. And this older lady looked at me and she's like, who are you guys here for? And I was like, number 11. I don't think he was number 11. I'm just making that up. I really hope he wasn't number 11. But I was like, number 11, Rick. And she's like, oh, I know him. Is he your brother? And I was like, you know him, then you should know he's not my brother. I remember I sent Rick a couple pictures that night, literally the second I got home. I uploaded these to MySpace, you know, it wasn't that easy like it is now, but I edited them and I sent them to him and I'm sure he wasn't even home yet. And he's like, these are amazing, and he made it his profile pic. This one, it was really cool. I literally specifically remember, and I went to Costco the next day and I made them print out the picture for me so I could give it to him. And I was like, I keep saying his real name. Love Andrea. I wanted to give it to him, and I genuinely, in my mind, I swore that I gave this to him. And I was going through these boxes and I found this purse and I was like, I'm gonna donate this. And I literally opened it and it had that picture in it. And I was like, and it was all crumbled, but it was so weird. I don't know if I got mad at him one day and I crumbled it when he broke my little girl heart. But genuinely, I saw the picture and I think I saved it in a box with old pictures. It was simpler times, my kids. It was simpler times, you know. But I guess that's what happens when you fall in love with the star baseball player and he breaks your heart and then he goes to date this other girl. Then neither you or your friend won. He got somebody else. But Rick was the sweetest boy ever. He could have been a little bit of a player, but he was a sweet boy. I will give him credit where credit is due. And for him to have ended up with that girl, it's so sad, you know. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this story. If you guys want to hear more stories about high school, let me know. There is a lot that I can tell, and I think my whole thing was that I was like, I wouldn't want these people to see us. But the other day, it's dude, half the people that did me wrong, I have all the right in the world to just throw that out on the internet if I want to. I'm not sitting here and saying people's first and last names. I'm using code words, and you know what? If the shoe fits and this happens to be you in the story, then the shoe fits. Let me know in the comments. So if you guys want to hear more stories about me in high school and middle school and things like that, I would love to tell them, because things just get even more worse than here. These are just little baby steps that I want to tell into these stories. But yeah, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you pretty faces in the next one. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Watch these videos. Don't forget to watch the story, because you guys heard me talk about Bethany and Brittany. You guys are probably like, who are they? Watch those stories. Literally, there's a part 1 and a part 2, and you guys all want to hear about Lola, so this is the story. So yeah, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you pretty faces in the next one. Bye guys. Talking about that. I got her on the throne. She acting all bad. Girl chose me. Don't be mad.